Happy New Year. It's 2025, guys. This year's going to be intense. This year's going to be very intense. It's going to be the most intense year we've had in our lifetime so far. In different kinds of ways to COVID, but more intense than COVID. A lot is going to change this year. There are many signs astrologically that point toward this year being a very evolutionary. We are living in an evolutionary moment, and this year itself is going to be revolutionary. I would say create a time capsule if you can, like now. I think it would be so worthwhile doing. And talk to yourself about this moment in time, about how things are and about how you are experiencing this moment in time. Create a moment to remember, because I think we're going to look back in the not so distant future, and for some people maybe nostalgically, yeah. I think a lot is going to change this year, and I think we're going to I'm picking up on like a little bit of sad energy, disappointed energy that we don't get to go the rest of the way with everybody we hoped to go the rest of the way with. When our journeys began, through the process of healing, it's sad because you realize that not all of your connections are as strong as they needed to be for this moment in time. And some of that would be on you as well. You know, the fact that some relationships have run their course. And we need to, part of this healing journey is taking responsibility for how you got to where you got to. And not to just blame, but I think there's going to be a lot of breaking apart before things come together. I think there's going to be a lot of breaking apart. And prepare yourself for it. Things are going to break apart on so many systemic levels, but there's the fractal nature of life. And so as without, so within, we're going to start seeing the collapse of many systems as we know them. The system at large, and then the subsystems of the larger system are going to come crumbling down. It is okay. It needs to happen. Don't let anybody tell you that they want to save you from that happening. It needs to happen so that a new earth can be born. You may be feeling similarly in your physical body, that you feel like you're changing actually. You may be feeling it in the levels up from that in your relationships, your relationship to self, as well as your relationship to your closest. What is happening within those connections? You generally are going to find that you cannot continue on the way you were continuing on. You have to do something different. We are in new energy. Pluto is now in Aquarius. Pluto has never been in Aquarius in our lifetimes. The last time Pluto was in Aquarius, there were revolutions. I'm excited, but things are also going to get scary. Things are going to feel very volatile and unstable. There's going to be a lot of chaos. If you understand that this is exactly where we are supposed to be, it will change the way all of that feels. You will know that the chaos is purposeful, and you will be able to more easily come back to the present moment. If you aren't meditating, I will encourage you to meditate. Meditation, initially when you meditate, it will mimic your life. And so if you've got a very frantic life, your meditation will feel as if your thoughts keep coming through. But the more you practice, the stronger the muscle of staying in the present moment will become. And staying in the present moment is going to be so useful in the times that we are heading into. It's beautiful, and embrace the change. Become flexible in your being and in your energy so that you can move swiftly with agility as the times start shifting. Think about yourself technologically almost, like you need, the system at large is upgrading. There's almost a mass uninstallation of limiting programming that will start happening, and you can reprogram your avatar. You can choose to do that. You are that powerful. And so if you think about the simple ways in which you can start shifting, it's what you input. What you put into this avatar matters, because it will become the way you start walking through the world. Every choice you make all the time really is you are choosing to be who you want to be, because only the moment that you're making the decision, this moment now, is the only moment where you exist. And so if you dream of a future version of yourself, it's beautiful to dream of that future version of yourself. But what the dream really requires is that you become that version of yourself now. And it is possible to do that. But it requires mind shifts. And so, dig deep into getting to know yourself better this year. If I can give you some encouragement in terms of what I would do, I'm all about healing, and I would continue doing what I'm doing. I meditate, I look after my physical form, I edify my mind with spiritual food. I'm open to all kinds of ways to know who God is, and I don't limit my thinking to dogma and doctrine. I'm curious about God, and I believe, and I move through the world as if I am playing a spiritual game. The game of life is spiritual, and every challenge that you face is a side quest towards your leveling up. We are living in a moment of grace. We are the ones who have been chosen for this moment, the moment that's going to almost get the hardest. We get to live through this moment. And how flippin' cool is it that you and me get to be living on earth in this moment in time? A moment that's been promised. I'm telling you, it's a moment that's been promised for a long time. We are living in that moment. It's a moment where love will start reigning, and we will start seeing the world through different eyes, through the eyes of love. We will start seeing through the eyes of love more and more. Only love can change the world. But the shifts are starting to happen. We are all part of the change. Embrace the change. Happy 2025, everybody. I'm sending so much love.